guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp on the Limp, and I'm here with a special treat for you all. Definitely a special treat for you all, because you guys are going to get some stuff out of this one. This is the Warhammer Skulls event that is going on right now, and strangely enough, my name got thrown in the ring. I don't know how that happened, but they sent me the little box, little promo box, and a bunch of codes and everything. So I've ended up with a bunch of goodies that I get to share with all you guys. So I have a handful of codes here that I'm going to be giving out for all these different video games. I'll put that up at the end and I'll explain how that's going to go. But we're going to go over all the games first and just give you some thoughts. Which ones are good, which ones are not. There's a big sale going on right now, and some of these are definitely worth jumping onto if you don't have these games, because there are some really good ones. There's some not good ones, but there are some really good ones at some really good prices. So I'm just going to scroll down the list top to bottom and let you guys know my thoughts on which ones are worth getting. All right, so I'm basically just here at the Steam page, and we're just going to scroll down. This should hit most every game. Space Marine 2, that one's not out yet, but I can't wait for it. Same with Mechanicus 2, that one's a good one. Bolt Gun is a good one. We'll touch on that one a little more later. But we're starting to hit some of the games that already exist. They're already out there. And it looks like, wow, they're free to keep. They're giving away Gladius. Jump over there and get Gladius. Warhammer 40,000 Gladius is a game. It's like Civilization. So if you played Civilization and you want a Warhammer version of it, that's what this is. Now, of course, you do have to buy the extra factions. That's how it is in every Warhammer game. But it comes with a good amount. It's not just 2 in the starter pack. There's a handful of factions. I think it's like 5 or so that are in there, but you can add the other factions, and I'm sure they're probably on sale as well. So get them now while you can get the game for free. So everybody's getting at least one free game, and you just have to buy a few DLCs if you want the factions. But this one is a excellent game. I've had a lot of fun with it. Definitely put some hours into that one, and it's just a blast, especially if you like those games like Civilization where you get stuck in that, just one more turn. Just one more turn. Love my Necrons. God, I just smite everybody with my Necrons. I can't even play anything else besides the Necrons, because they're my team. They're my boys. Speed Freaks is coming out. I like the board game Speed Freaks. I actually did a video on it. My brother came up and helped me, and we filmed it and had a lot of fun with that game. The miniatures for Speed Freaks are excellent miniatures. Love the buggies and everything. Plus, you do have the added benefit that when you get Speed Freaks, you get enough that if you wanted to have an orc faction, you really wouldn't have to add too much more. Basically, a commander and some infantry, and you could have a starter faction, maybe 500,000 points worth of orkies to get out there. I mean, of course, you're going to have to add more than just the few buggies, but if you want to, the option is there. Speed Freaks, cool tabletop game. Really excited to see it come down to the video game, see how well they do it. Now we're going to hit the list where I'm just going to walk it down. We already spoke about Gladius, Battle Sector. I have touched on Battle Sector. And they're scrolling down. Let's cut off sound for now. Battle Sector, I have already done a full review on. Make sure you go check it out if you want to see my thoughts on the game. I reviewed that and the newest Tau faction that just released. What all factions do they have with it? They got Tau, Demons of Khorne, Orcs, Sisters of Battle, Necrons, Blood Angel Elites, and Tyranid Elites, because this game, the core game, only has 2 factions, the Blood Angels and the Tyranids. And then you have to add the extra factions in, but at least they are on sale right now. Some decent sales with it. Why are the Necrons discounted 40% and these are 30%, and the newest Tau is 15%? Their sales are just, they're weird. But hey, they got a bundle. You can get, I think, all the factions for like $36. So that's actually not too bad. This game is really good, a lot of fun. They've done a good job of kind of correlating that tabletop experience down into a digital experience. The special abilities, the way units interact with each other, ranges, all that good stuff is a lot of fun. So I definitely would recommend Battle Sector. And I might not be able to keep scrolling back and forth on these. Total War Warhammer 3. If you are into Total War, you probably already have this one. There are obviously 3 of the Total War series. One of the things that I found kind of weird is that they've made it almost where you have to have Total War 1 and 2 to play 3 because you need all the factions, and get them while they're on sale, right? If you can get Total War 1 and 2 while it's on sale, generally you can find it a better deal, then it's worth getting the 3. Now they have finally released the expansion for that was hotly anticipated. It was not available at release, and it took them over a year, I think, after release to get that Mortal Empires. And that's the one where you have the grand map and you can pick any faction. And of course, now the big thing in Total War Warhammer 3 was the Chaos factions were added into it. And I gotta say, it did pretty good. Khorne was a little overpowered to begin with. My boys are Nurgle. I love Grandfather Nurgle. You know, pay homage. But yeah, Khorne was pretty badass. I don't know how much they balanced it since then, but the game is really good, worth getting, especially for those of you who are already into the Total War series. If you've got 1 and 2, 3 is definitely worth picking up so you can flesh out the entire old world. And this, again, this is the pre-old world. This is before Age of Sigmar and the Sigmarines and all that BS that came down. So Total War, yes, absolutely worth getting. And it looks like they have, let's see, Total War Warhammer Trilogy. Now this could be a good bundle. Okay, yeah. Yeah, what is that, about $50? Of course, I've already got all 3. Minus 50% for 3 and minus 75% for 2 and 1. Yeah, that's 100%. Worth getting. Oh, I'm going to lose my spot again. Yeah, minus a total of 68% when you factor in all the crap. Buying all those games originally would be 180. Getting them now for 56, 100% worth it. Definitely. Blood Bowl. I just released a video actually on Blood Bowl 3 specifically. Blood Bowl 3 is good. Make sure you go check out the video if you want to see my specific thoughts on it. It's got mixed reviews, and there are reasons for it. I touch on it more in the video. If you like Blood Bowl, the game, the tabletop game, you'll like the video game. It's really not that far apart. I think that they need more factions in the game. Honestly, I think your better bet, dollar to game wise, is to get the Legendary Edition for Blood Bowl 2 and get all those factions, and you can get it, I think, the same price or even cheaper. I don't think it's part of the sale, but I'll have to check it just to be sure. But Blood Bowl 2, it's Blood Bowl. This is just a niftier, better graphic version, right, of Blood Bowl. It hasn't changed all that much. It has a few units, stuff that's been added since they've kind of revamped and re-released Blood Bowl again. I forget exactly what edition they're on now, 3rd edition, 2nd edition, whatever it is. The newest sets of rules, the newest units that are in the game are in Blood Bowl 3. So if you want the newest, this is the one you're going to go for. Mixed reviews, again, I think the game is good. It's worth playing. I think it has more to do with cost and everything that's included, and they've gone a little bit of predatory nature when it comes to the purchasing. So, like I said, check out my full video to find out. Rogue Trader, yeah, that's a get. I don't get why they got mostly positive. This is like a B-movie version of Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, the newest Baldur's Gate 3 that's just the hot thing that's on the block, overwhelmingly positive. It's like the B-movie version of that set in the Warhammer universe, in that the graphics aren't quite as good, the mechanics aren't quite as good, it's not quite as fleshed out. Like, you know, perfect A+ for Baldur's Gate, and then, you know, Rogue Trader's like right here. But if you're into Warhammer and you want a game that's like Baldur's Gate and it's set in the Warhammer universe, this is definitely the one to get. I am going to have a video review up on this one later. The only problem is that it's a large game, so it takes a little while to get into it. One recommendation I will give is if you do get this game, specialize. Don't jack of all trades. The skill checks get a little much, so specialize your forces. And they do have an expansion coming out for it, but it's not out yet, so I can't review it. Dark Tide is mixed reviews for good reasons. They released and they had some issues, some serious issues. They really dropped the ball on the release, and it's sad because the same people who put out Dark Tide are the same people who put out Vermintide 2, and Vermintide 2 is phenomenal. Everything that Dark Tide has done wrong, Vermintide 2 did right, which makes me wonder what the hell were they thinking. No real single player to speak of. Still, supposedly they were going to add that in there so people didn't have to play with randoms if they don't want to, because I don't like playing with randoms. It's just me. Sometimes I just want to play the game. I don't want to have a headset on. I don't want to do that. I just want to sit back and relax and play, and you can't do that in Dark Tide. I will say the graphics are excellent. The sound is excellent. They've done really well in those things, but as far as leveling up the characters and the rewards and everything, the balance, there have been issues, but they have been working on it over time. A lot of these mixed scores that you're seeing are from when it first released. It's kind of affecting its score now, and that it has taken them a while to address these issues. And like the single player, they had promised they would have that out by like December of last year or some shit, and it's still not in there. So they're taking a long time to get it, but it is a work in progress. Vermintide 2, when it first released, wasn't as good as it is now. They worked on it a lot and improved it and got it to the excellent game that it is today. Dollars to donuts. I mean, $6 for Vermintide 2 versus this, 24 for Dark Tide. I think the better value is Vermintide 2 still, until Dark Tide's still a little more fleshed out. But if you want the larger player base, that's going to be in Dark Tide. Plus, it's the 40K version with las guns and bolters and all the fun stuff. There is a bundle that has both for $28, which is a relatively good deal. Now, we have Bolt Gun. Bolt Gun is the retro shooter of Warhammer 40,000. $14 right now, which you can get it for. Yes, definitely worth it. It's got loud rock music with it. You're just blasting everything. If you don't like retro shooters, right? You don't like, forget what it's called, like horde shooters or something to that effect. If you like Doom Eternal and you want pixel graphic 40K, then check out Bolt Gun. I've had a lot of fun with it. It's a really fun game. Good shooter, just good solid feel to it, right? They tweaked it a little bit when it first released. As you see, it's got very positive reviews. Definitely worth getting. You're going to get your money's worth for the $14 that it's going for now. And they have an expansion coming out for it. Games like this, the Warpforge stuff, the mobile type games, I'm not really going to review because I don't play those. I don't spend that much time with it. You guys will have to check elsewhere for stuff like this. Same with the Legions, Horus Heresy thing. These are the mobile-esque games, and I just don't have experience. I think same with the Warhammer combat cards. It appears like all of these have mixed reviews, and I'm willing to bet a lot of that probably has to do with pricing. Inquisitor. It is mostly positive. I would actually give it a very positive. I think it's a fun game. It's just dumb, blast them up. You can play cooperatively with your friends and just level up your character, right? It's kind of like Diablo, right? In the way that it plays, isometric view, top down. You're constantly improving your gear. I love the newest character, the Mechanicus character is the one I use that has a bunch of little drones and bots and everything that's fighting for him. And I'll just go slamming through the rooms and just turn him loose and let all the drones just tear everything apart. If you want just a dumb, fun, blow all the crap up, I'm trying not to cuss in my video, blow everything up, game, Inquisitor is definitely worth it. And for $10, I mean, yeah, absolutely. You are going to get your money's value well out of this. You can sink 100 hours into this game easily if this is your type of game. The story's kind of dumb. There's some other mechanics aren't the best, but it's just stupid fun. It's really a good time. There are multiple different types of characters you can play as. I love the Mechanicus guy. Go with him. He's kind of OP. The last time I played it has been a little while since I played it, but definitely a good time on that one. Let's see what else we have. I will touch on Mechanicus real quick since I hadn't hit that one yet. Mechanicus, the first one, is out, and it should be part of the sale. Did we miss it? No, it should be on here. Mechanicus is phenomenal. They're releasing the second one. It is a tactical turn-based game where you have like tech priests and servitors fighting Necrons. So you're kind of going into a Necron tomb and things are awakening. And as you go in deeper, you're going to be encountering stronger and stronger Necrons, but you also will level up your servitors and your tech priesty guys, the ones that are all mechanical, like half robot from Mars. And they'll go through one room after another, clearing it, getting points and gear and stuff that you can use on your units later. It is a buttload of fun. Very positive rating, I believe, for Mechanicus. Definitely worth getting. I have to see if that one is on sale because it should be. Realms of Ruin has a medium rating. I haven't played it. I can't say one way or the other. I've heard good things. I've heard bad things about it. Right now, it's $12. This one, you kind of have to make your choice for yourself. I got it in one of the Humble Bundle packs, so I'll have to try it later and do a review on it for you. Same with Demon's Gate. This one is a turn-based tactical game where you're playing as like the Grey Knights and you're fighting chaos. I've heard good and bad. I have not played this one yet myself. But again, this is one of those where if you've been eyeballing it and you've been kind of on the fence for it, getting it at 70% off is definitely worth it. Plus, remember, it's Steam, so you got a couple hours. Try it. See if you like it. If you don't, you can always return it. But even if you just kind of like it, you're getting a really good deal on it. Next, Blood and Teeth. 100% recommend. Love it. This is a side-on scrolling shooter where you are playing as the orcs and you get all these different types of weapons. You have to pick up bones and teeth that you use as currency, and that currency you can use to unlock new weapons like plasma guns and auto guns and the trekking missile thing. You get bone saw, just the coolest dumb orky type weapons, and you're fighting. At first you have to fight the orcs, but then you end up fighting mankind, of course, and it's got a very cartoony look to it. You can play this cooperatively. My kids love playing this game with me. It's very easy to play, but it can be very difficult. If I play with my kids, I crank the difficulty down a little bit, but if you have it at the harder settings, you get smoked real quick on that game. 100% though, definitely a lot of fun. Definitely worth picking up at 40% off right now. $12, you're more than getting your money on it. And why in the hell do we have Power Wash Simulator with 40K? Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? $8 for that? No way. The dumbest stuff that they got on here. We already talked about Warhammer. Space Marine. Space Marine is a third-person shooter where you go along killing just hordes and hordes of orcs. Space Marine 2 is coming out here very soon. But I have played lots of hours. I played this back when it first released on, what was it, the Xbox 360. My brother and I spent a lot of time playing this game. It used to have, and I believe it might even still have, a fairly popular multiplayer where it was heads up multiplayer. It was actually really good for what you would get with the game. Good game, absolutely worth it. You can get that one now, $12. It's 80% off. Why would their main price be $60? That one shouldn't have ever cost $60. Hired Gun for $8. Is it worth $8? Yes. This one, it's one of those okay shooters. And what I mean by that, if you're bored and you've got nothing else to do and you just want to play through a game and it just needs to be okay. It doesn't have to be the best game you've ever played, just enough to occupy your afternoon. The Necromunda Hired Gun fills that slot. It is not the best shooter I've ever played. There are some wonky things to it. It just, not everything feels right. It doesn't feel like, a AAA shooter where you feel the shots and the sound is perfect and all that. It feels a little floaty, right, in the way that the combat plays. But for $8, yeah, it's absolutely worth it. I wouldn't pay much more. If you do get Hired Gun is one you get on sale, and the game isn't even that long. I think it's 8 hours, maybe, campaign on it. Like I said, this is a weekend play and done game, so don't get this for the long game. You get this on sale, play through it once, call it a day. Battlefleet Gothic. I'm going to address both Battlefleet Gothic and Battlefleet Gothic 2. Battlefleet Gothic 2 is actually probably the one I would go for, but it is really, really good. I've spent a lot of time with that one. Really enjoyed it. This is based off the tabletop game, Battlefleet Gothic, where you are controlling large hunking spaceships and you give them commands, and they operate like you would think that these types of lumbering spacecraft would. The smaller ones are more agile, can skirt around, but you can have the big Imperial battleships with their prows, and the point coming in, ramming the enemy ship. There's even, special commands you can give them, like ramming speed. You can send in boarders, right? So Space Marines will launch from their little drop craft and crash on an enemy. You're trying to take out their crew. You can call ships to be abandoned. You have to take out their shields. Then you're going for their hull. The orcs are hilariously awesome, like the orcs always are. They have their big hulking battleship, which is like their asteroid, where they just tack stuff on it and it flies because they believe it will fly. Plenty of different factions are in Battlefleet Gothic 2. It's like Chaos, Imperials, Space Marines, Orcs, Necrons, Tau, Tyranids. Tyranids are in it as well. There's a campaign to it, and then of course you can always do skirmish matches. But if you wanted to play the tabletop game, which they really should re-release that. I've heard murmurings, but they haven't done it. They should, but they haven't. Battlefleet Gothic 2, the video game, yeah, definitely get it. The Space Hulk Deathwing. This is the one where you're going through Space Hulks and your Terminators. There's going to be 1 to 4 of you. You're going to go in and fight the Tyranids and try to take back the Space Hulk, right? That's been drifting out in space all this time. This game, kind of a mid, mostly positive, and I can get it. It honestly was a little too difficult. You can't really play it solitaire. There are bots in it. I can't remember if there are bots for sure or not. I believe there are bots in this. Don't quote me. But it just has a little bit of a difficulty spike to it. I remember playing through it and getting to the end and then just getting swarmed to death. If you've got someone you can play this game with, like you and a buddy or two can sit down and play the game, then yeah. But this is not a run and gun and jump and do all that type shooter. You're playing as Terminators. Terminators are slow and hulking. It will feel very slow when you first start playing it. You can hear the heaviness of your footsteps as you're going along. Dum, 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 dum. Graphics are actually pretty good. Sounds pretty good. It's cool to use flamers and power swords and everything to just smash through the Terminators, or through the Tyranids rather. The game is fun, but there's just a little bit that's holding it back. If it was a little easier to solitaire, I would give it a higher rating. This one is another one of their freebie type games that we're not going to worry about. Chaos Bane. Honestly, Warhammer Chaos Bane, I think, got a bad rap. This is Warhammer Diablo. All right. It's set in the old world. You have a selection of different old world type characters that you could play as that have the typical archetypes of fighter, rogue, mage type things. Go ranged if you play this game, especially if you play it solitaire. Ranged characters tend to have a little bit of easier time, especially with the bosses. But this one, I actually think it's fairly decent for what it is. It's not anything perfect. This isn't, AAA Diablo level game, but it's just a dumb fun game where you just kill off scores and scores of demons and beasties and whatever old world nasties that were there. This is not like the best game of its nature to ever come along. It's a Diablo clone set in the Warhammer universe, but especially at a 90% off sale, it's easily worth that. Personally, I thought it was better than the reviews gave it credit for. I played through a good chunk of it. The end game is rather lacking. So this is one you're probably going to pick up, play through it once, and you probably put it down. The end game is not substantial enough to retain a player base. All right, so we're hitting some of the older games here now. One thing we'll mention right here, Inquisitor Prophecy. This is either an expansion or a standalone. This is the one that adds the Mechanicus character that I was talking about for Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor. For $5, it is a easy must buy. If you get the Inquisitor game, get both. Get both of these and just be done with it. Now, Dawn of War 1 and 2, must buys. Just get them. If you don't have them, if you're watching this and you don't have these, then you're a dummy. Warhammer, Dawn of War, both of these are excellent. They play very much different though. Dawn of War, the first one, is more of a traditional RTS where you have a bunch of different troops. You're going to build your base. You're going to deploy troops. You're going to buy more troops and try to take over the map. Dawn of War 2 plays more squaddy. You have a squad of more specialized characters, and they're going to go along and try to accomplish objectives. They are very different in how they play, but they're both excellent. So in a way, you're kind of getting two games. If you get Dawn of War 1, get all the expansions. You should be able to get a bundle that has all of them for a relatively good price, and it adds all the different factions. You want all the different factions. They're awesome. Same with Dawn of War 2. Dawn of War 3, I don't believe was as good. So really just focus on the first two and just skip the third, because it just, I don't know what the hell they did with this. I tried it back in the day and it just, I think they tried to kind of mix these two and it didn't work out that well. 1 and 2, that's your bread and butter. Go with those. They do have Warhammer End Times Vermintide, the first one. Honestly, this is you don't really need it. Get 2 and just be done with it. Necromunda Underhive. I have not played it, and as you can see, it's got mixed reviews. It seems like they kind of dropped the ball with this. It just was not done very well. I haven't heard very much good from most people about this, so I think Necromunda might be a pass unless you are really into Necromunda. I mean, for $2, it's not that big of a risk to try it out. Age of Sigmar Stormground, kind of the same thing. This is turn-based versus, there was another one. I forget what it was called, but another one set in that Age of Sigmarine type thing. Another one that's real cheap, $3. Up to you on whether or not you want to risk it or not. Personally, I think there's other better games you could spend your money on versus that and have a little more fun. Warhammer Quest 2, don't have any experience with it, so I can't say, oh, here we go, Mechanicus. I knew it was going to be on here somewhere, so it's 80% off. This is a must buy. If you like Necrons, you like the Mechanicus faction, you like turn-based strategy, yeah, for $6 for the amount of gameplay you get out of this, and it's really good. As you can see, it's very positive with 10,000 ratings. Yes, Mechanicus is excellent. They have it on a huge sale. Get it. Must buy. Mordheim. Don't have any experience with it. It is in my collection now for $2. What's the risk? It's Mordheim. It's based on that old game of the same name, tabletop game, which is, I do believe, similar to Necromunda in the fact that you would have different factions and it would be a squad-sized group and they would compete and try to take each other out. The individual characters would level up over time and have weapons or special abilities that they could use. So if you're looking for something like that, mostly positive, I would say it's worth the risk for the price that you're paying on it. DECA, this is the playing game based off the same type thing that Warhammer Imperialis that they did. So this one you're flying around as an orc plane. I haven't played it, but it's got positive ratings, $6. Worth the risk. They have Battlefleet Gothic Armada. This one, Sanctus Reach. This is another turn-based game. It's similar to Battle Sector, and honestly, these two released at the really similar time frame. So I was kind of wondering why they had Battle Sector and Sanctus Reach all going on, but it's got very positive reviews. I have not spent time with this one yet, but it is in my collection now, so I will be reviewing it later on when I do get a chance. I would say this one is probably worth the risk since it is $6. It's 80% off, and it's a turn-based strategy game set in the 40K universe. Armageddon, Warhammer 40,000 Armageddon. This one's really good. I did a full video on this game, and it is a lot of fun. This is more along with the Hex Encounter style, old style combat, right? Like, what was it? Panzer Commander, Panzer something. Can't remember the name of it. Panzer Commander Gold, whatever. The style where the map is divided all up into hexes, and you'll have your selection of units that have so many movement points, and they'll be able to attack if they move up. This is very much war game-esque, right? You're playing either as the humans or the orcs. Generally, you're going to play as the humans. You're trying to take out the orcs. There's only one severe drawback to this game, and it is the fact that it has a turn limit. There are, I think, for every map in the campaign, it's going to have a turn limit, and the turn limits are too short. They don't give you enough time to really accomplish the objective unless you just slam in there as quick as you can. I think there might be a mod to be able to remove that, but I'm not 100% sure. I do know that the creator of the game made that choice very specifically to have turn limits in the game to add that pressure in. I think that was a bad choice. Honestly, should have given the ability to turn it off or at least extend it, because right now it's too close to the wire. But the game itself is actually really, really good. Definitely worth checking out. And there is an expansion to it called Dorks. Space Hulk Tactics, don't know that one. I think that one's more like the board game itself that it's based off of. Mixed reviews. Yeah. There's a VR game, Battle Sister. I've actually played this, and it's not bad. When it comes to VR games, it's about mid. If you've got a VR headset, there's not really a whole lot of options when it comes to a first-person shooter set in the Warhammer universe. If you can get this one on sale, it's worth it. It's kind of like Hired Gun. It's a weekend shooter, play through it and be done with it. It's not bad, but it's not great either. You're just really shooting down the middle on this one. There is a VR game set in the Age of Sigmar universe. I have heard bad things about this one. I would probably skip it. I don't think the discount is enough to worth the risk. And nobody seems to like it. If you're going to risk for a VR game, I would go Battle Sister over the Age of Sigmar one. None of these are really, well, they've got Warhammer Quest, Underworld, Talisman, older games. Some of them are free, some of them are $1. This one, Underworld, I don't know how that one works. I think there is a tabletop game, Warhammer Underworld, something or other. And this is probably based off of that IP. As you can see, though, as we scroll down, they do have some bundles. The Master Edition of Demon Hunters, you can get that one for $30. You can get Space Marine and Bolt Gun together. If you don't have those already, same with Vermintide 2, we already sold that one. The Warhammer trilogy, you can get the entire Gladius thing, but Gladius is free. So I would check how that works, maybe get it for free and then come back and check the bundle. It might actually reduce the price of that. Battlefleet Gothic 2, looks like there's a bundle that you can get the complete edition for $11. Yeah, I would get that. Definitely recommend on that one. Same thing, the Dawn of War 2. Yes, definitely get the bundle, get all the expansions for it. Definitely worth it. Mechanicus, same thing. Any of these that you can get the complete edition of it. When it comes to Battlefleet Gothic 2, Dawn of War 2, Mechanicus, Total War, I definitely recommend as well because I've had a lot of fun with that one. Vermintide and the Darktide. Vermintide, yes. Darktide, maybe. Bolt Gun and Space Marine, yeah, they're good if you haven't played those. So anyway, that's the main list. We've gone through pretty much everything. There's maybe a game or two that we missed, but I do believe we hit all of them. And this took longer than I thought it would, but I had to say a word or two about all the different games. There are a lot of good games on some good sales right now, I gotta say. Rogue Trader, I've been having a lot of fun with that one recently. Like I said, I'm working on a review video for it, and it is a lot of fun. Just really, really good so far. Better than I thought it was going to be, honestly. With a mostly positive rating, I expected it to be worse. But the story's already catching my attention, you know, kind of gripping me. So they're doing, they did good with this one. Battle Sector's good. Gladius, good. They're giving it away for free. Definitely worth getting. Looking forward to the Speed Freaks. Bolt Gun, absolutely. Mechanicus, as we wait for Mechanicus 2. Yeah, when it comes to this Skulls, I think they've done pretty well. They've got a lot of really good games at some good discounts. So it is worth checking out if you don't have any of these. Now, I did mention that I had some codes that I am going to give away. And I was trying to think about how I was going to do this. So we're just going to see who watches the videos and who doesn't. I can adjust the comments to show me what order people comment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out the list of codes for free games that I have. And all you have to do is leave a comment saying which game you want. You can't pick multiple. Just pick one that you want. If you win, I'll send you the code for it. But it's first come, first serve. It's the easiest way. If it was one or two codes, I might do it a different way. But I've got like 10 codes to give out. So with it being so many, I'm just going to see who sees this. And the first one to name the game that they want, that's the one that they get. Don't, if you comment picking a game that you want, don't list down every game. All right. So name one game of the games I'm getting ready to read out that you want and put that down as your comment. If you're the first one to comment it, I'll send it to you. What I will do is here in a few days after the video's been up for a little bit, I will put up a video, very quick one that will announce who won. And at that point, I'll tell you guys how to contact me and I will get Range to email you the code for your free game. All right. Like I said, just put your one comment saying what game you want. If you're the first one to claim that game, you get it. Don't put down every game. Don't spam it with hundreds of comments trying to claim them all. Take a shot for one, see if you get it, and we'll go from there. All right? So here's the ones that I've got. Vermintide 2, Battle Sector, Mechanicus, Bolt Gun. Now, I've got Gladius, but everyone's getting Gladius, so I'm going to hold on to that one later until after it's gone off the free thing, and then I'll do a giveaway for it. I have Blood Bowl 2, the Legendary Edition, so the one that comes with a buttload of the teams. And I have Blood Bowl 3, the Brutal Edition. So each one of those. and the Chaos Bane Slayer Edition. All right, so those are the games I have. I'll read them out one more time, and then you guys put one comment down below which game you want, and if you're the first one, you get it. Vermintide 2, Battle Sector, Mechanicus, Bolt Gun, not Gladius, Blood Bowl 2 and 3, so it's not together, either or, and they're both good. It doesn't matter, really. And Chaos Bane. All right, so those are games that are up for offer. Shoot your comment down below, shoot your shot, see which one you get. And here in a handful of days, I will put up a video, announce who's won what, and you guys will be able to contact me and we'll get those sent over to you. All right, make sure you go check out the Steam page, see the Warhammer Skulls Festival, and check out all the good deals that they got going on, because they're, yeah, I gotta say, some actual decent deals out there. All right, that's gonna be it for me. Y'all take care, and I will catch you in the next one.